Giannis Antetokounmpo had one of the greatest playoff runs of all time this past season. His run had everything you would want, big time performances and iconic highlights that we're going to remember for years to come. And for it all to culminate in a title and a finals MVP, it just makes it more special. We're going to look back in a few years and talk about this Giannis run and how amazing it was. And I'm so glad that I got to watch it and appreciate it in the moment. Today we're going to look at Giannis's playoff run from this past season and get an idea of just how historic it is. Before we start, I want to remind you that 80% of the people watching this video aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and support the channel for more NBA content. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like. It makes a big difference in helping this channel grow. Now that that's out of the way, let's look at Giannis's incredible 2021 playoff run. The Bucks-Heat rematch was highly anticipated since the Heat outplayed them in the bubble, and we were looking to see if Giannis and the Bucks were going to get their revenge. And surely enough, they did. The Bucks dominated this series and swept the Heat, and Giannis's play in this series, especially on the defensive end, is what made this series so one-sided. In this first round matchup that went to 4 games, Giannis put up 23.5 points, 15 rebounds, 7.8 assists, and 1.8 steals a game. Those are incredible numbers without a doubt. But Giannis's defense in this series was what really stood out. In the 4 games, the Heat players shot a combined 13 of 40 from the field when guarded by Giannis, and he also forced 8 turnovers. He did in this series what he didn't do in the bubble, which is let Miami run around and beat them easily. And a big part of that was how Giannis played not just against the Heat as a whole, but against Jimmy Butler specifically. When Butler was guarded by Giannis, he went 3 for 12 in the whole series. He also forced Butler to make mistakes that he didn't make in 2020. 4 of the turnovers that Giannis forced this series were on Jimmy Butler. So it was very impressive what Giannis did, knowing the pressure was on him and the Bucks, and it showed why Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year. A dominant series for Giannis on the defensive end, along with great shot making for his teammates, made this series way too easy for this Bucks team, and to do it against the team that sent you home the year before makes it even better. Bucks vs Nets was an incredible series that went to 7 games and came down to the wire, and the Bucks got it done despite Kevin Durant doing literally everything right and the Nets being the favorites. Just like the Miami series, Giannis put up great numbers and was fantastic offensively, and his defense was off the charts and was what helped the Bucks pull off this series win. Giannis put up 32 points, 13 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and a block a game in this series with 59% true shooting. He had an incredible series numbers wise, and that's also not to mention the 40-point game he had in Game 7. But again, his defense is what shined in this series. It's damn near impossible to stop Kevin Durant completely, but Giannis did everything he could, and he did a pretty good job. KD wasn't the primary matchup for Giannis, but when he was pretty damn good. KD went only 5 of 15 from the field throughout the series when Giannis was guarding him. Only 33%. Also, all 4 of the turnovers that Giannis forced on this series were all on KD, so that's also a big deal. With how hard it is to slow him down, it's pretty damn impressive what Giannis did in this series, and it solidifies again why he won Defensive Player of the Year in 2020 and why he's one of the best defenders and just players overall in the league. The first 4 games in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Atlanta Hawks went really well for Giannis. He put up 26.5 points, 10 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1 block a game with a true shooting percentage of 61.5%. Other than the free throws, Giannis was doing everything right on offense. He was aggressive, he took it at the bigs to get them in foul trouble, and he drew a lot of fouls. He was also doing a really good job of kicking it out when the double team came, and his guys were hitting their shots, so that helps too. Defensively, it was another clinic. In the 4 games that Giannis played, he forced 6 turnovers on the Hawks. He did a really good job on Capella, who was forced to only 3 shots a game when guarded by him, but his best defensive performance was against Bogdan Bogdanovic, who was supposed to be the knockdown shooter for the Hawks. When guarded by Giannis, he only made 1 of 5 field goal attempts. That's a crazy number. Unfortunately for Giannis in the series, he came down with a scary leg injury that looked very painful, and potentially severe. When it happened and we saw the replay, we immediately were hoping that it wasn't season ending because it looked like it. That injury kept him out for games 5 and 6, and luckily, Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton were amazing in those games and helped the Bucks close out the series and advance to the finals. A great series for Giannis, but of course, the injury scare was a very big concern. Man, these finals were special, and the things that Giannis did were unbelievable. First of all, it was surprising to everyone that he played in Game 1 with how severe the injury looked, but luckily it wasn't. I mean, because of it, the Phoenix Suns were seen as the favorites to win the title because of the uncertainty with Giannis. And for him to do what he did in this series, I mean, my goodness. First off, this is what he averaged in these finals. 35.2 points, 13.2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.2 steals, and nearly 2 blocks a game. Giannis was great the first 2 games despite the Bucks losing on the road to Phoenix. He even dropped 42 points in Game 2. Then the series went to Milwaukee and the Bucks did their thing at home, tying the series. For Giannis to slow down the best on the team every night is so impressive, especially when it's done consistently. Chris Paul, who was the leading facilitator for the Suns, was limited to only 4 of 14 shooting from the field and 0 for 3 from 3 when guarded by Giannis. Giannis also forced 2 turnovers and a blocked shot on Chris Paul. Devin Booker was limited to 4 of 11 shooting, which is only 36%, which was well below his playoff average. Limiting shots and forcing turnovers was key for Giannis in this series, especially with how talented the Suns are. So I talked about the numbers, but the highlights and iconic moments in this series were everywhere. Game 4, the Bucks were up 2 with a minute and a half left in the fourth. Ayton sets a pick and rolls to the basket. Devin Booker throws a lob and Giannis is somehow able to recover and make an incredible block that sealed the game for the Bucks. That was one of the greatest blocks I've seen other than LeBron's iconic chase down in 2016. In Game 5, the Bucks were up 1 with 25 seconds left. Booker gets double teamed and Jrue Holiday just snatches the ball away from him. He runs down court and sees Giannis trailing. He throws the lob and Giannis somehow catches it and throws it down despite Chris Paul fouling him hard. The lob was crazy and Giannis staring into the camera after landing made it so much more badass. That has to be up there with one of the greatest NBA moments ever for me. And then Game 6, Giannis and the Bucks close out the series and win the NBA title, and he puts up a historic 50 points and 14 rebounds in a finals closeout game. Oh yeah, and he also went 17 for 19 from the free throw line as well, which is, a big deal for him. For Giannis to drop 50 in a closeout game is one of the all-time playoff performances, and I'm so glad that I got to watch it happen in real time. And it was the perfect way to end an incredible playoff run for Giannis. This championship made him only the 3rd player ever to win an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and a Finals MVP, joining Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan. Giannis Antetokounmpo at the age of 26 is already one of the greatest to ever do it. The accolades he already has at this age is amazing, and it's scary because he's still very young and he has a lot left in him. This run made me even more excited for what's next with Giannis because man, he is a joy to watch, and I'm glad that we get to do it as fans. And that is going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thoughts on this Giannis playoff run. Also, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button for more NBA content like this. Thank you guys as always for your continuous support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.